Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth.
Going to church is an experience, both spiritual and emotional, and in most cases physical. Let me explain. First thing you do is wake up early on the weekend and dress up in a nice suit. Comfy clothes are completely forbidden from church. Then you drive to church and you have to act like you are super happy to be here and not tired, hungry, or bored out of your mind at all. Like, what's that polite question, swear word? That is too much to ask for a Sunday morning! This is where late services come in, which I'd recommend you go to if you can't do mornings. The first thing I'm going to do is tell all you non-churchgoers what going to church is like. The first thing you do is drive to church and try to find a parking spot close to the front door. Next, you go inside the church that hopefully have both its heating and air conditioning working. Now, if you're an introvert, be warned that there are usually people at the front of the church welcoming you. This is great news if you're one of the 2% of the people on the internet that is an extrovert, however. Then you go and try to find a good seat in the auditorium, not too near the front, not too close to the back, you know, the desired seating area. If this sounds unadvertising to you, it's really not. Going to church is a great thing to do, highly recommended. Usually, the services are a couple of songs, announcements, a couple more songs, the sermon itself, and then a couple more songs. Like, seriously, nothing is easier than going to church. All you really need to do is sit, stand and sing, sit again, sing, sit, and finally sing. Pretty simple, right? Well, just because it's simple doesn't mean it can't be improved upon. So here's my recommendations on how to make the church-going experience better.
If you want to reach those kids on the street, then you gotta do a rap to a hip-hop beat.
Make sure you serve food and beverages before and between services. Also, make sure that the coffee is quality, like from Costco, not the dollar store.
So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick.
A white guy with a beard is the preferred worship leader. Make sure he's about 30 to 40 years old and knows how to play the acoustic guitar. Also, make sure he's not bald, like me pop. Also, word of advice from me pop, make sure there's an electric guitar player. Makes the people who grew up in the 80s happy.
My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Have a kid's service. I'm not joking. The worst thing to happen in the middle of a sermon is to be all comfortable, enjoying the sermon, and then you hear... Well, somebody shoot me! Nobody likes a crying baby during the service. It is funny, though, to watch the pastor start getting all sweaty and try to talk over the crying. Sometimes they end up yelling, which just makes everything awkward and loud. Please, just put in a kids' ministry service so there's no loud noises during the service. The only loud noise I want to hear during the service is the awesome guitar solo that me pop is doing when he's playing. Now, the previous suggestions were just common sense in my opinion. These upcoming ones I just want for myself, so here they are.
He's a life changer, miracle arranger, born to the virgin mom in a manger.
It would be great if sermons had reviews, would it not? Like movies have reviews, so do video games and music. Why not sermons? You know the review site Metacritic, right? The website that takes all the reviews of games, movies, and music and combines them, right? Well, let's do that with sermons. I would love that, going into church on Sunday morning and seeing the posted review of the sermon. What's that? The sermon was only given a 2-star review on Metacritic? Screw that! I'm going home! I'm not gonna waste my time this morning listening to a 2-star review sermon. I'll listen to Jack Hibbs instead. Speaking of which...
Water to wine, he's a drink exchanger. And he died for your sins.
I think this guy deserves a spot on this video. I honestly think that Pastor Jack Hibbs is a modern-day Billy Graham. If you don't know who that person is, just look him up. Sometimes, me and my family would watch him if we were unable to make it to church one day, and seriously, this guy knows his stuff.
Oh, what? Is he some sort of perfect preacher?
No, he's just a really good one. I usually feel spiritually fed after watching him.
Spiritually fed? What that mean?
It means I feel whole inside after listening to him.
Oh, well, maybe I should listen to him then.
You should, Timmy. Anyway, let me get to my last point because this video is already too long.
All the other MCs, I wish them well, but if you live in sin, you burn in hell.
Churches need to be more politically active. Like, there are so many churches that will just blindly obey the government and be quiet during times of crisis.
But great!
You say.
Going against the government is illegal.
And to that I say, no it isn't. Protesting is completely legal. and so is boycotting and other ways to get the government's attention. Anyway, that's pretty much all the time I'm putting into this video, because I'm looking at the script and I realize I have over 40 lines of dialogue. So, to summarize, all I really have to say is go to church. It's a great thing to do. All you heathens, non-churchgoers, ought to give it a try. And yes, I know I'm not the real grade A under A. This is just a fan video, so you can shut your little...